used to be it was enough to have one or two SUVs and CUVs in your lineup. But as more and more buyers continue to move away from compact hatches and sedans and into compact CUVs and SUVs, manufacturers are having to diversify their portfolios. And luxury manufacturers in particular have jumped into this with both feet. BMW has a number of vehicles in their X lineup. Lexus has a number of SUVs and CUVs. Acura has less, but their RDX and MDX sell more than anything else they sell. And Mercedes-Benz is perhaps the most diverse of them all. There's the GLA-Class, the GLC-Class, both available in coupe or kind of wagon form. The GLE-Class, also available in both coupe or wagon form. The GLS-Class and the G-Class. And now there's another one. So for this big guy, small car review, we're looking at the latest addition to the Mercedes-Benz compact crossover portfolio. This is the 2020 Mercedes-Benz GLB 250 compact crossover. It's the latest addition to Mercedes lineup, and it sits between the GLC and the GLA on the roster. Style-wise, we'll see in the next couple of clips, it's very much like a small GLS, and that has paid huge dividends when it comes to interior space. So join me as we have a look at the 2020 Mercedes-Benz GLB 250. Well, I'll tell you, the big guy or gal in your life, or you, if you happen to be a big guy or gal, will have no problem with this front seat. Tons of space, flat bottom steering wheel, so it's got room for your legs. Unbelievable headroom, like it's so huge. I'm really curious to see how it is in the back. Really, really awesome. I love the seating position, and I really love, and we'll see it more clearly in the next shot, this straight up and down dash is unbelievable. It's just it's the coolest thing. It's the coolest thing. Lots of reachable storage. You've got the bin right here in the middle. You've got a wireless charge pad here, plus 2 cup holders. Pretty good sized glove box too. It's kind of got 2 tiers in it. Really, really, really good. This is a proper front seat that seems like it's for a much larger vehicle. So now you can kind of see what I see. You see this great upright dash, got a high seating position. It's very, very baby G-Class in here. But while that's certifiably old school, very new school inside the GLB. Got this great dual display setup, which actually I think the G-Class gets now too, but whatever, which can be interacted with 3 ways. It's either a touch style, or you can move through with a touchpad mount to the center console, or my favorite, which are these 2 touchpads on the steering wheel spokes. The left-hand side one actually kind of goes through your main gauge cluster and shows you, it allows you to choose what information is being displayed there and so on. Very, very cool. You can move it over, and there you go. You can kind of change that up like that. Whereas the right-hand side one moves through your main infotainment display. Very, very intuitive once you get used to it. And of course, you can change the look of this. There's the, right now I'm in progressive, which I guess is very, very in tune with what's going on in the world today. I don't know. Then there's classic, which doesn't look all that classic, but whatever. And there's my favorite, which is sport, which gives you the very cool kind of yellow on black fonts and all that kind of stuff. When you're in sport mode, you want to have that tachometer showing, or the speedometer on the left there, which is kind of how you want it. This is perfect. I love it. But my favorite are the various themes. You move through them here. Now, if you select, I don't know, adventure, it'll change your drive mode. It'll kind of show you what degree you're traveling at with the hills like underneath you. Very cool. If you go back here and you select, I don't know, trip mode, it'll automatically activate your navigation system. And if you select my favorite, which is lounge mode, you have to bear with me because it automatically turns on your audio. And this is CBC Radio 1, which is very loungy. I'm going to turn that off. But it changes the lighting to pink and blue. Very, very cool. Lots of features in here, two of which I'm going to go into in more depth in video, in a couple of videos linked to, or one video linked to here. And that's the adaptive cruise control system, as well as the very, very cool MBUX navigation system with augmented reality. So click the link to see those in the description to see those videos. And I've got other great features here. Dual zone climate control, wireless charging, Dr. Pepper. Nope, that doesn't come with the car. That's separate. That's a little bit extra. $1.50. 5 USB ports, one here, 2 in the storage bin, 2 in the back seat. But they're all the USB-C variety. There's no traditional USB ports in here, so you want to keep that in mind. And while it charges wirelessly, you can't activate CarPlay wirelessly. You need a cable for that. So you're going to need one of those newer USB-C cables to want to use CarPlay. Suede seats, heated seats, memory seats, all that kind of stuff. Really, really great. But it does come at a cost. If you want navigation, it's $1,000. If you want the premium package, which adds that great MBUX system or blind spot system, that's $3,300. If you want the sport package, which gives you 19-inch wheels, these very cool suede seats, a couple of other bits, $1,700. Tech package for adaptive lighting, for example, $1,600. So it does add up. And I feel like if I just want to spend the $43,990 this thing starts at thereabouts, all I'm going to get is an engine, a steering wheel, 4 wheels, and maybe a seat. That's it. Because I'm up at probably closer to 50 grand with all these option packages, and so you want to keep that in mind when shopping for the GLB. But otherwise, very, very cool. So I had to be careful during this review because oftentimes when you say the word Mercedes in the GLB, it activates this. Hey, Mercedes.
How may I help you?
Which can kind of cause some problems when you're trying to shoot a video, but still very, very cool.
The route is being calculated.
Hey, Mercedes.
Please follow the road for 1 kilometer.
Hey, Mercedes.
How may I help you?
Turn temperature to 22 degrees.
I'm setting the temperature on the driver's side to 22 degrees.
Why, thank you. The qualities of the rear cabin area in the GLB begin to show themselves as soon as you open the door. These door openings are huge. They look like they belong in a much bigger vehicle. And they make entrance and egress for the big guy or gal in your life that much easier. They also make it easier to get your child in once you've got the child seat installed. With those huge door openings, I had no problem with that at all, which is awesome. And now once sat back here, I got tons of headroom. I feel like I'm in a concert hall back here. I've got legroom, even though this seat is adjusted for a big guy driver, moi. My knees aren't pushed up into my chest or into the seat back, which is good because they're finished in this really scratchable plastic, which I don't like. It's quite hard. Andre the Giant, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar would probably be comfortable back here, but I'm not so sure because these seats are super firm. And they don't have very much side bolstering, so on windier roads, I worry that rear seat occupants are going to be rolling to and fro in the cabin, so you want to watch for that. But I've got the armrest here with the cup holders. I've got 2 vents, although I can't control my own climate control. I've got 2 USB-C ports, and if you can believe it, oh, and this wasn't able to be open once I had my child seat in either, so keep that in mind. And it's got a reclining rear seat. Fantastic. And because the seat cushions are flatter, it means when you fold them, which is done by tugging the same tab you would tug to adjust the seat back, it's a very nice flat surface. And since it's a 40-20-40 split, and if you want to haul longer items, you don't want to lose a whole back seat with it, there you go. This is a really, really well done back seat. of course, in addition to be able to haul yourself and your family, you want to be able to haul your wares as well. Is the GLB 250 up to the task? Can it handle a big guy sized hockey bag, for example? Let's find out. Big guy sized hockey bag right here. No problem, goes in easily, nice big loading area in there. And since it's got that great 40-20-40 split folding rear seat, getting the sticks in there, easy as 1, 2, 3 as well. Now I can't unfortunately close this with my key fob, gotta hit the button up there. But all of a sudden, the fact that there's a 3-row option of this isn't quite so unfathomable. So yes, big guy hockey bag and hockey sticks loaded. It's time to hit the road in the 2020 Benz GLB 250. Yeah, 221 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. That's a good amount of power for a car that weighs whatever small amount I'm sure this thing weighs. I've got an eco mode now, which is of course the least accelerative of all the drive modes I have. But even then, when you kick down, yeah, it'll hold the gear for longer, won't give you the same kind of throttle response you'd get in other modes, as eco modes tend to always do. But there's some get up and go there. But when you activate sport mode with a beautiful dynamic toggle switch down here, whoa, hold on to your hats, because this is a quick little car. This is a very quick car, and it makes itself heard too. You can really hear the engine going. If you listen close, you can really hear the air rushing into it. If I'm honest, it might almost be a little bit too much. I don't mind it. I think it's kind of a cool little, like, kind of a little party trick that this GLB has, but a lot of people buying a luxury vehicle like this, especially one that's not of the AMG variety, might want to be a little quieter. I've also got some road noise here and some wind noise over my left wing mirror. So it's not the quietest thing. I'm speaking a little louder than I might normally, but it's nice enough. And plus it's got that great 8-speed dual clutch transmission, and you can activate the auto mode by just flipping one of the paddles. Then when you go, you hit it, shift up, boom, happens right away. That's the beauty of a paddle shift transmission. The next gear is kind of pre-selected, so we're off to the races, and that's the beauty of a dual clutch transmission like this. And of course all-wheel drive too, so good launch speed too. Handling is really good. Even though this is kind of got that high roof, slightly higher center of gravity because of it, body roll is pleasantly low, which is good because I talked about those flat rear seats, which I worry would cause some occupants to kind of roll throughout the cabin, but less body roll, less human roll in there too. So that's good. And turn-in is great, really responsive turn-in, and a little bit of feel through the wheel, not a lot of feel. It's an electronic power steering setup. They tend to be down on feel a little bit, so I'm not going to hold it against the GLB too much, but responsive. Ride is good too, even though it's got like a low body roll and responsive transmission, or responsive steering and chassis. The ride is pretty good. You don't feel the bumps so much as you hear them, again, because we did talk about the noise in the cockpit. I'll feel them a bit through my wheel, but I would imagine if you don't have your hands on a wheel, a lot of the smaller bumps, or most bumps, you wouldn't feel this. It's well dampered, so it rides surprisingly well too. It's kind of a neat trick they pull, and being able to make it handle as well as it does and ride as well as it does. You can also change certain aspects, so you can change the steering weight by yourself. The sport mode automatically adds kind of tighter steering, which if you decide to have an individual mode, you can have tighter steering but regular powertrain, for example, which is kind of a cool thing to be able to do. So, but the bottom line is though, whether it's AMG or not, and it's a fun little car, this thing. It is zippy, very hot hatchback like, even though that's not at all what it is. Well, it depends how you define it, I guess, but it's not, and it's great, and it's comfortable too. I mean, that high roof we talked about that should add body roll but does add lots of headroom, which I love. And even now that I start to kind of move throughout the cabin, like throughout my seat rather, by going through some turns and things, my elbows are not smacking into things uncomfortably. It's got this great padded suede kind of liner in the door card here. It's almost welcoming to your elbow. Yes, please jam your elbow into me. It's very nice. I'll massage it. You know what I mean? Like it's really, really cool. And the seats have this suede insert as well, so you're not sliding in and out of the seats too much, which is nice as well. And my knee, yeah, if you might have seen the other shot, there was this kind of faux aluminum insert here right around the door handle that extends down the side of the door card. And yes, my knee is resting against it, but it's a concave shape, so it's not like it's jamming into my knee too much. It's not bothering me at all. I have no problem with that. It's not metal, it's plastic, so it's soft, it's not that big of a problem. So it's really well orchestrated in general. this GLB. Seriously, it is. I am impressed. I'm impressed, and I've had fun driving it for sure. So the features, the performance, and all that stuff, that's all well and good. But we came here to figure out if the 2020 Benz GLB 250 works for the big guy or gal in your life, or works for you if you happen to be a big guy or gal. The answer to that is, heck yes, it sure does. We've talked about the space inside, great headroom, leg room, arms, elbows, ribs, all that kind of stuff. Really, really good. You can pack stuff in it. In and out is easy because those huge doors. This is a really, really well packaged small crossover. So yes, you're going to pay for it. It is not cheap by any means. We talked about it before. This is pushing 50 grand for this thing, and unfortunately, a lot of those options packages include stuff that you kind of really want to have. It's not like superfluous stuff, so it's not cheap. But to get a 3-pointed star on the snout, it's not a bad cost of entry. It is a luxury crossover. So good news, big guys and gals. If you happen to be in the market for a small luxury crossover, the GLB could be just the ticket.